Hello guys, it's me again, and today we are going to continue with Unit 9, Generally Speaking, Lesson B. So, in this lesson, we are going to talk about past habitual actions with used to and would. So, used to and would can both be used to describe past habitual actions or situations which are no longer true. So, how do we use used to and would? Well, used to expresses an activity was a past habit that occurred at an earlier stage of life and it ended. The focus is on the past habit, not its duration. This activity or habit occurred but no longer continues because of a change of circumstances or change of willpower. For example, I used to smoke. Before, you smoked, but not anymore. Would. Well, would and used to have somewhat similar meanings. So the meaning of used to and would is very similar. Would expresses activity was a past routine, typical behavior, having direction or repetition, and it was often related to another activity. The focus is on the past activity, no particular attention to whether it continues or not. So guys, something to pay attention when using would is that often, okay, like it says there, often is related to another activity. For example, you can say, I would go to the beach after I finished school. So in this situation, go to the beach and finish school are related because you would go to the beach after you finish school. So many times or often when we use would, we are going to see a second activity which is related. Remember guys, often, not always, okay? Now, differences. How can we make differences, okay, between used to and would? Well, first of all, used to can refer to past states, existence, possession, having a particular characteristic, state of mind and major, and unbreakable habits. So basically, we can use used to in any situations, okay, to refer about something that you did before, you used to do it, but not anymore. What about would? Would, on the other hand, expresses that an activity was frequently repeated. Now pay attention. Therefore, it cannot refer to past states, except when related to the occurrence of another activity. So guys, pay attention to that. We are not going to use would when we are talking about a past states. What is a past states? What are states verbs? For example, live, be, have, and like are examples of stative verbs. Why? Because even though these are verbs, they do not perform any action. If you say, I have a car, you are not really doing an action. If you say, I live in a house, you are not doing an action. So these are verbs, but they do not perform an action. That's why they are states verbs. It's different when you say, I run, I jump, I climb, I eat. These verbs are performing an action. Okay? So, remember, we are not going to use states verbs with would, except when there is another activity which is related to the first one. Do you remember what I said? I would go to the beach after I finished school. So if there is a second activity related, maybe we could use a state verb with would. Okay, now let's see a few examples so you can understand better. Think about something you liked doing before, but you don't do it now. Look at the picture. With that picture, maybe we could make this example. I used to play video games before, but now I have to do lots of homework. So before, you used to do it. You play video games frequently before, but not anymore. We could also say, I would play video games before, but now I have to do lots of homework. The meaning in these two sentences, used to and would, is similar. We could say it's the same meaning. There's no differences, okay? Now, let's see a second picture. If you see the picture, maybe comes to your mind the following example. I used to read and do my homework in the backyard after school. Or, I would read and do my homework in my backyard after school. Those two examples have the same meaning. They refer to the same past action or past habit. Now, let's see the next example. I used to have a girlfriend when I was in high school, but now I'm single. Next, I would have a girlfriend when I was in high school, but now I'm single. Yes, maybe you are thinking, wait, there's something wrong there. And yes, there is something wrong. We do not say would have, because have is a stative verb. Have do not show any action, does not perform any action. So we do not say I would have, okay? Remember that. Unless there is a second activity that might be related to the first one. The next example and the last one is, I didn't used to live downtown when I was a kid. Remember, when we have a negative statement or a question, we use didn't or did. If we have didn't or did, then the verb use will be on the base form, okay? So, didn't use, not didn't used, okay? The second one is, I wouldn't, which is the negative form of would, I wouldn't live downtown when I was a kid. Yes, one more time, you are right. It's wrong. We do not say wouldn't live, because live is a stative verb. It does not perform any action. So, well done. Now it's time for the exercise. As you can see here, we have the exercise, 4 different exercises, okay? Number 1, which sentence is not correct? So you have to choose which one is not correct. Number 2, what does the sentence mean? I didn't used to smoke. What does that mean? You have to choose. Number 3, choose the correct answer. And number 4, which words cannot go in this space? So now guys, pause the video, complete the exercise, and then you can check the correct answer. Okay guys, so number 1, which sentence is not correct? My grandmother would have long fair hair. Yes, remember, have, stay verb. We do not say would have. Number 2, I didn't used to like cabbage. Remember, if we have didn't, we don't say used. We need to use the base form, use. Next, I didn't used to smoke. The meaning of that sentence is, I smoke now, but I didn't in the past. Next, my granddad used to tell us stories about his life as a policeman. Well, very simple, used. Next, my mom would cut my hair in the kitchen. And the last one, we were used to. That's not correct, okay? We could say we used to go, good. We would go, good, okay? But no, we were used to go is incorrect. Okay, if you got all your questions correct, all your answers are correct, very well done. And I think that's everything about this lesson. So thank you so much for watching, and this is the end. Goodbye. See you next time.